Arc salute to you all out there, and welcome back to Springing into Summer Shenanigans, otherwise known as Summer Shenanigans Season 5. And in today's episode, we are continuing in the month of May-tal Solid with Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Now, I'm a little concerned to be playing through these newer games now. Because if you didn't see the last episode of Metal Gear Solid, I played Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. It ended really horribly, and I thought that was just where it would end. But apparently not. Apparently, some company by the name of Latin Autor decided to falsely claim my video. So, in the last few days, I had run some tests. Those videos are still private, and I'm planning to upload them at the end of the season, around September-ish, just so you guys can kind of see, like, they'll go public in the end of September, so you guys can kind of see what I did to test if this would get claimed. But anyways, I'm sort of nervous to actually be playing this game because I know this song might also be falsely claimed. Because here's the problem. I'm pausing in between so you guys can kind of hear the music, but because this is phenomenal music. I just wanted you guys to hear that. There's a couple of things that you can do on this title screen that I want to talk about, but I lost my train of thought. That's okay. Anyway, I'll move on. If it comes back to me, then it comes back to me. So some things you can do is if you move the left stick, you can control the credits. If you push in the left stick, it actually changes the language, and if you click it in enough, it eventually becomes a snake. If I can get there. There we go, now it's a snake, so you can control the snakes. If you push it again, it turns back into subtitles. There is a right stick that you can control that controls camouflage that comes down on the screen. If you push in the right stick there, it turns into different styles of camouflage. And moving the right stick, if I didn't say, controls those. Another thing you can do is that if you press the R1 button, the singer whispers Snake Eater, which I find really funny. So I like to just spam that because it's a Snake Eater. But yeah, I completely lost my train of thought of what I was talking about for Metal Gear Solid 2. But, yeah, I've never, ever, during my 7 years? Oh my god! I've been on this platform for 7 years. Holy crap. Anyway, of my 7 years of being on this platform, playing video games and, like, admiring the music, all that, I have never had an issue with the video game companies claiming my videos because of music I've been playing. The only time that I had a copyright strike was when I was playing Pokemon Ultra Moon, and I used the exclusive Z move for the starter Pokemon. For the life of me, I can't remember its name. I can only remember the nicknames I give it. I used Captain Sparkle's Z move. And the video got claimed because apparently there's a bot that automatically claims videos if they see that video, any one of those videos in the video at any point. So that got claimed and I got a strike on my channel. I'm sure that has resolved itself by now, but that video is no longer on YouTube anymore. But other than that, Disney has been my other problem, but that's, like, that was bound to happen because Disney's Disney. But, yeah. So, welcome, if I adjust the camera just a smidgen, to Metal Gear Solid 3. It may say Subsistence, but this is the special edition version of Snake Eater. It comes with a second disc with other stuff. Again, same deal on this screen. It's a little different now, so the left stick controls the camouflage. If you push it in, it changes it. If you move the right stick, it changes the color. So that's nice, and then you can click it in to change the color rapidly. Then you can press L1 to change how zoomed in the combat is. R2 does the same thing. or sorry, L1 and L2, sorry. And then R1 speeds it up, R2 slows it down. But anyway, enough talking. The intro for this game is very long, and we're going to start with a new game. This will actually determine some different things that happen. Playing Metal Gear Solid series for the first time, nothing different in the game happens. Metal Gear Solid 1, you get more stamina. I like Metal Gear Solid 2 is the one I'm going to choose, so I'm not going to say what it does. And then I like Metal Gear Solid 3 gives you all the special camouflage to start off with. I actually need to adjust this camera, but I think I'm just going to wait until next video. So I'm going to select, I like Metal Gear Solid 2, just because it's the most changing version of the ones that you select. Sorry, I'm still not used to circle being the select. European. So I have beaten this game. So there, I've gotten all like the stuff that I need to unlock. So there's all like these different difficulties. As for the usual, I'm still gonna play on normal. But let's get started with Metal Gear Solid 3: Snake Eater. Eventually, there we go.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
It sounded like they made David Hayter walk up to the mic as he was doing that, because it was quiet at first and then it turned up. But yeah, this intro sequence is a decent bit long, so this video is definitely going to be longer than the other two. But as I keep saying, this Summer Shenanigans stuff is a time for me to experiment with games to see how I want to do them on my channel. So this is going to be an experimental episode just to see how long I should make videos. And if I should even do them, if these companies the quote-unquote companies want to keep falsely copywriting me. And I'm not going to get off that topic because that is absolute garbage, and I'm surprised I haven't made a rant video about it talking to YouTube, because YouTube has still done nothing about it, and they don't care. Even though it is ruining some of their employees, let's just put it that way. But yeah, I am going to talk a little bit over this cutscene since there are subtitles, and since it is fairly long and I don't want to just be silent for most of it. But Metal Gear Solid 3 was probably one of my favorite games in the Metal Gear series, and maybe all time. It is so good, the story is super good, the gameplay is super good, the AI is almost too good. But then I played Metal Gear Solid 4, and it may be very controversial to say this, but Metal Gear Solid 4 is probably my favorite game of the series. I don't know what it is about it. I guess it's just like almost nostalgic, even though this game wasn't, and these games weren't a part of my childhood. It was still like just mind-blowing to watch that game pan out. And I'm gonna play it the day of this recording, which is on Saturday. So if this video comes out late, you'll know why. Because I'm recording it the day of instead of days before. I just got a little busy. But yeah, I love this game, and it is a very, very, very close second to Metal Gear Solid 4. But I just like Metal Gear Solid 4 too much. And I'll get to talking about Metal Gear Solid 4 once I actually get into that game. But yeah, we'll just let this play out for a little bit, unless I've got something else to talk about, which I don't think I do quite yet. Oh, actually I do, in a little bit. Once it... Harry Gregson Williams. I will gladly give up my video if Harry Gregson Williams claims my video for his music. But you know what? That hasn't happened yet. Unless Harry Gregson Williams works for Latin Autor, which I don't think he does, I will gladly give up my video if Konami or like the actual game company, I guess this is my rant video. If the actual game company were to claim my music, sure, I'll gladly, like, even though my video doesn't make money, I'll gladly, ow, I just popped my jaw. I'll gladly let them have it, because that's fair. I use their music, they have all the rights to it. I don't claim to take rights to it, which is why I'm appalled that my video got claimed. Great, because, I mean, sure, any game company could go to every Let's Play video ever and just say, alright, we're claiming all your videos because you used our content. But they don't! So why on earth does it make sense that one video gets claimed for music that the actual company itself doesn't claim. And the thing is that it wasn't even the whole song. It was only the part that I wasn't talking through, which was like a minute of the song.
Virtual mission.
I'm gonna get very heated during this episode just because of what all this is, because it's my first time actually being falsely copyright claimed.
Some kind of initiation ritual.
Don't get cocky. This isn't a training.
I'm going to try and not get mad, and I might just save it for a rant video, but I might just make this my own rant video.
Well, about 2 years ago.
All right, I'm gonna give it a break because this is the actual story.
In the West, through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov, isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1,
Steak sauce.
known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the
This game, this story in this game is so great, and
after
it's
Gagarin's
just,
flight, Sokolov left.
I actually don't think this one makes as much reference to the other two games, so this might be the one game that
From a lowly technician
won't
to
necessarily be as spoilery
That's
if
quite
I'm
a
playing them
success
out of,
story,
well,
so
not out of
what
order,
to
but
expect?
playing them one
It
after
seems he'd
another
become
by only
afraid
playing
of
the
his own
beginning.
creations.
Afraid.
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
Yeah, and this
We got
also, this
Sokolov
story
over one
engages a lot
whole
more
deal
with
that had been
actual
exhausted.
events that happen
We
in the
checked him
world.
into a hospital
Granted,
in
towards
Berlin.
the end of, not to spoil
It took him 2
anything,
weeks
the
and
end of Metal Gear
600
Solid
miles
2,
to
it
get
does
from
get
the
into
research
more
facility in the
political
Soviet Union
topics,
to Berlin.
which
Conditions
I'll
said
get
he
to
could
once I
appear.
actually start playing through that game.
And it was only a
But
week
this one
later that
actually
we had something much bigger on
has
our
relations to real world events, as you just saw. It was the start of the Cold
October
War, the Berlin
16,
Wall, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
President Kennedy received word that
All that kind of
Soviets
stuff.
were in the process of deploying
And I
intermediate
think
range
it's also
ballistic missiles
the first Metal Gear game,
President demanded
Metal Gear Solid game,
Soviets dismantle
to
the
actually
Union.
reference a real life president.
Same time, he
All the
announced
other
a
ones
naval
have
blockade to prevent Soviet
different
missile
presidents
shipments
than
reaching
what
Cuba.
was actually represented during
But
that
the
time.
Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course
And the music?
towards Cuba.
Again,
US and Soviet forces went
Harry
on
Gregson
alert for
Williams.
all-out nuclear war.
fantastic guy. Whoever, like, all the people who wrote and composed and performed this music, like, oh, kudos, so good. And Snake Eater also, very good. I'll be so sad if this video gets claimed because of Snake Eater, though. Because I just have the sneaking suspicion that it's going to happen. And even though I did those tests, but then I realized, like, those videos might not have been long enough to actually be monetized. So I guess we'll see once I upload this one.
No. The Jupiter
If this one
IRBMs
gets
deployed in
claimed,
Turkey were obsolete.
I don't know if I'm going to
Get rid of them anyway. Had no
upload
strategic
it.
value
Although I did
whatsoever
talk through a lot of
to
the
US
Snake Eater,
or
which,
the
I mean, I didn't mean to, because
Turkey
Snake
deal
Eater is
was
a
rumor,
brilliant
a
song.
cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies
I think her
around
name
the
is
world.
Cynthia Harris. I'm probably not remembering her name right. But the singer in that song is also
Sokolov.
amazing. Ugh. I can't give this series enough praise. Hideo Kojima did a fantastic job with this series, and I just have to give it all the praise in the world, because it was a really good, good game for these past 2 years that I've been playing them. And I think the series is getting close to coming to its end, but I've been playing through Metal Gear Solid 5, and I really kind of hope they continue. Granted, 4 and 5 kind of break away from the path of it being like a stealth game. Granted, it's still like a stealth game, but it plays a lot differently. But I hope it comes back one day or something.
Information from one of our moles.
Or like they continue the story, even though I know it's going to be really hard.
Yes.
and
He was
you'll see what I
taken back
mean.
to the
Or you might
research
even know
and
what I
forced to
mean
continue working on the
if you've
weapon
actually
in
played these
question
games.
under
Once I play through these games, you'll know what I mean by the fact that like
What's
these
more,
might
it's on the
be
verge of
this might be a dead series.
So, what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess.
But
you're
yeah,
right.
as you can
We
tell,
don't know
this
the
intro
details, but it
is
appears to
pretty
be some
lengthy,
kind of
and we're
nuclear
probably not
device.
even halfway through it.
For
So
half a year now,
I'm
the Soviets have been
gonna
conducting frequent nuclear
I'm gonna
tests
make
at
a
Something to
longer
do with
video for this one.
weaponized.
It might end up being an hour long, but I think later on in the game, those videos might get
Is
shorter,
Sokolov
and then
still in the
even later on
facility?
in the game, the videos might end up being
No,
longer again,
according to our
because
intelligence,
the cutscenes in this game
Selena
are
Yas,
lengthy.
mountains about 3
But you know
miles
what?
to the west
That
of
I'm
the
honestly very okay with it. I'm very okay with just sitting here and watching
Nice
a
name
Metal
for
Gear
virtuous mission.
Solid
They
quote-unquote
moved in there
movie.
just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test.
Oh god, I
Our
held
best
on.
chance to get him back.
Which, speaking of
This
which,
mission would never have been
I heard there's a Metal Gear
possible
Solid
without the
movie
research.
in the makings, and
This is our last
that
chance.
better be
Sokolov must have
so
known
good.
too when he contacted us.
Because lately, there have been a plethora of good video game movies. And by a plethora, I mean two. Detective Pikachu and Sonic. Those were two really good video game movies. Alright, and another detail, as for the gameplay, because we are technically in gameplay mode right now, is that during certain cutscenes, in the top, I think it's right-hand corner, you will see a R1, and that is so that you can change the view of cutscenes. So right now I'm looking in first person through the goggles, but you can like change in between the two and view the cutscenes just a little bit differently, which I think is a terrific addition. I can't remember if it was in 2 or not. I don't think it was. But there are also secret first-person views that you can look at. I don't remember them all, but when I actually play through this game, I'm going to try and get to some of them, because some of them are really cool. But yeah, as you can see, we can look up, or we can look around, and if we look up, you can see the fox.
Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete,
Wait, it
the
oh,
gunship's on the
interesting.
balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're
I don't think he was worried about the arm. I think he was worried about like Sokolov's spine breaking on the way up.
She's equipped with
Also,
two
apologies if you hear
6-barrel
thunder.
20
I'm currently recording in a
as well as
thunderstorm that's like
40
directly over my
machine
house. I was trying to wait for it to go away so that I could record, but then I was like, the video's gonna be late if I do
In
that.
the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
home in time for dinner.
That's
But
what you
if
think.
anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
And, okay, I'm not going to get my math wrong this time. I'm going to actually look at the case, see when this one was released. I'm not going to get my math wrong, because I know Metal Gear Solid 2 came out in 2001, and this one came out in, if I'm not mistaken, 05. Yep, 4 years afterwards, which is fairly consistent, because... Allow me to correct my math in the Metal Gear Solid 2 episode. Metal Gear Solid 2 came out 3 years after Metal Gear Solid 1, not almost a decade. I don't know why my brain thought that Metal Gear Solid 1 came out in 89 instead of 98. I guess I was dyslexic for just a minute. Now, on to the reason why I like Metal Gear Solid 2. You can notice it's pretty similar to the Get Up animation in Metal Gear Solid 2. And you may be thinking, huh, that David Hayter voice sure sounds like Snake. But, I like how he just kind of tosses that aside. But, trying to time it correctly. That don't look like Snake. That looks like some white-haired Dante man from that there Devil May Cry. That don't look like Snake. And you may notice that the name at the bottom was changed to Jack. But I think we get an added cutscene after this. Or maybe not. Alright, so now we're in the actual gameplay. But it's not going to last that long. You may notice that our top name tag actually says Jack now. So we are not Snake, we are some new character. But there's a lot more gameplay to be had. All we have is a knife and an RC mate. If you saw in the cutscene, our backpack got away from us. But the thing about this one, the new thing about this game is that you may notice that we have a second bar underneath our health bar. That is because this game is, oh god, this game is more survival based.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory. Somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
Snake.
Well, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order
We
one.
did just catch one.
But
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
what about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be...
Also, another thing that you can do
I'll
if
be
you press
Tom.
the D-pad,
Major Tom.
you can look at their
Snake.
different things. And then on the last
The
page,
crew isn't watching anymore.
you can look
Take
at
off
their
the disguise now.
specs. I don't think some of them are unlocked immediately, but because I beat the game, I think I have more of them. So, all right. So now what we have to do is we have to go retrieve our backpack. So we must do that. There we go. Yeah, this is the extra cutscene we get. It was a mask all along. Yeah! Oh, I like that. That's a cool cutscene. Oh, I really like that. I've never seen this cutscene before in full. I just saw him ripping off the mask. That's how I knew about it.
Can you hear me, Major Tom? This is Snake.
Oh.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Yes!
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procure on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the
'Cause you're a
subject,
sneaky,
how
sneaky
exactly am I
snake.
supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah. Backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you better.
How do
get
you
back and
see?
get it.
Wait, what?
You know where it is?
or you're just saying, oh, I
I
see,
can
I
it
get
from
it.
Here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree,
And we get some
stand
fourth
in
wall
front of the
breaks.
tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the
Oh, they're
gunship.
looking at each other.
My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Go get your backpack. Yeah, so this gameplay is going to be a little broken, like broken up at the beginning, but it's mostly tutorial stuff. I would skip. Oh God, there we go. Okay, moved us. I would skip it, but some of it has story reference. Oh God, hello, butt in face. There we go. Get up. All right. So now if we press triangle or the action button, as they say it, next to the tree covered in ivy, you will walk across it, and then you can walk across this branch and press the action button again to hang down and grab your backpack. Yeah, but I don't want to skip some of these codec calls, because if you press X, it'll make it so that you can read it yourself, but then it stops the voice acting, and I really like the voice acting in this game. It's actually really good. But if you press triangle, it will it'll skip through. If you hold triangle, it'll like fast forward through it all, so it'll go by a lot faster. But I'm not gonna do that just because.
Got it. Use the survival
Just because.
Yep, that's
Again, I might miss some story beats if I do
Survival is
that.
fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina.
That's another thing that you'll have to do, is that not only will you have to eat food in order to keep your stamina up and all that, you also have to cure your own wounds when you get them, and your suppressors on some of your guns can break, and you'll have to find more in order to have a suppressed gun again.
Once its durability reaches zero, the noise
That's exactly what he's talking about right now.
So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you
It's
go.
an OSP.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment. Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission.
I mean, you
You're a
can,
ghost
but
snake in every sense of the word.
it's not good. It's
There'll
not
be
good
no
for you.
rescue if you're captured. The military and U.S. government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just
Yeah, some
take
U.S.
care of
soldier
myself.
just showed up to Russia. We don't know
I'm
what
afraid
happened.
so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back.
I've never actually seen that happen.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo
Maybe
mission,
I'll have to go
right?
through that when I let's play
Right.
this game.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going
Nah.
to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive.
Man, all these women
My
make
frequency
promises
is
to Snake and then
145.73.
just
She's also in charge of
Whatever.
recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save
140.96.
frequency.
We already know that. That's been the
140.96.
saving frequency since game
So
1.
saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's
Yeah, that's one way to
person I
put
want
it.
to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh, excuse me.
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Bosses?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years?
I like how the jungle noise stops so the music could come
That's
in.
right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Man, dedicated.
You've lost weight.
You can tell.
Yeah, wait.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
Yeah, look.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself.
The story is so
Listen to me,
genius,
Jack.
and I can't wait to share
Just
it with you
because
guys once I
soldiers are on
eventually
the
get to
same
this game.
side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You are a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
Yo, me too, Snake.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying,
Dang, that's still relevant today.
loyalty to the end.
Kinda.
Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country.
Man, if that ain't a fact, I don't know what
There's
is.
an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times.
Yep.
As long as we have
Yeah, these
loyalty
games
to
get
the
like
end,
kind of like
there's no
political,
point in believing
and
in the country.
they dive into
Even
kind
in
of those
those we
deeper
love.
subjects. But man, do they do it
Soldiers
well!
supposed to think.
The only thing we
Like,
can
oh,
believe
when
in
we
with
eventually get to
absolute
the
certainty
end of Metal
is
Gear
the
Solid
mission.
2, oh my
Alright,
goodness gracious! For
but do me a
2001,
favor.
that was
What
a
is it?
shock.
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put
Yeah,
together during
and again,
World War II was a snake.
I shouldn't be apologizing for how long the
Brought the war
cutscenes
to an
are.
end and saved
It's
the world.
technically not my fault,
You've got
but
a
nor
legendary
like
hero
I
backing you
think
up, you'll
for
be
this
fine.
game,
Isn't that right,
the
Snake?
cutscenes needed to
Yeah,
be
I can't think of
long,
anyone else
especially in
I'd
the
rather
beginning,
have
because
with
they're introducing almost a whole new cast of characters.
Yes.
It's good to
So
hear your
all
voice
those
again.
people kind of have to be introduced and
Same.
exposized
After
and all that stuff.
Who knows if
But
either of us will make it out alive?
some of the
See,
story
you were
points
always
later
best
just
at
need to be
urban warfare
like very
and
well
infiltrating
explained. And
buildings. But this is the journey.
Ugh.
Survival is going
But
to be key.
whew,
Those CQC
I can't get
techniques
over
I taught you
this
are sure to
game,
come in handy.
this series,
CQC.
not this game. Well, this
Close
game,
quarters combat, huh?
not in particular. I mean, the whole
Past
series
few
as a
years.
thing. I just
Probably
can't get over it
rusty.
because
Not to worry.
Like, I mean, I had known about Snake since, like, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which, by the way, that might also be coming to Summer Shenanigans because
Where are you, boss?
I wanted to, like I was saying at the beginning, some of the beginning episodes, I wanted to redo some stuff and maybe even revamp some stuff. So I might be redoing some episodes of Summer Shenanigans in a more updated style. So look forward to those. Because right now we're currently beating, I think, 2 of the years that we've already done it. Actually, I think we're beating 3. Yeah, we're beating 3 of them for how many episodes I've done. So now all we've got to do is best, I think, like 42 episodes, and we will have beaten
Remember some of the basics of CQC.
Season 2. Which, by the way, I was thinking about it, and I might just do one Pokemon card opening, because I loved doing those. I just don't have the money to do as many as I did last time. I think I could do one. I think I could handle doing one this season, but I think I'll actually do that once summer actually starts. So look forward to that once Summer Shenanigans itself actually starts. But yeah, now we're actually into the gameplay. Now, if we go into everything, there's, first of all, I'm so not used to pressing circle. There's camouflage, and it like, your camouflage will do better depending on where you are. And yes, oops, I did not mean to do that. You can go into, God, that's not what I'm trying to do. You can wear the mask if you so do please, if you wanted to. So now we have all our stuff back. You can only carry 8 things at once. So you can see all the stuff that we have already. That becomes more prevalent later when you get a lot of stuff. But you also have to eat to what am I trying to say? To hold up your stamina. If your stamina does deplete, then you will get worse at shooting. Your movements will be, I think, a little bit clumsier almost. I've never done it before, so I actually don't know. I just know that it makes your aiming a little shakier. But yeah, now we're actually into it. Now, this game in particular with my recording style might be a little iffy because, as you may see, there is a guard here, I think. No, just kidding. But the guards are also very well camouflaged, and you may not see what I see just because of how camouflaged they are. On camera, it may be like it may be completely blind to you. These alligators will mess you up. Do not approach them. There are only certain ways that you can actually beat them. Do not approach them. They will mess you, excuse my French, but they will mess you the hell up. I had a playthrough where I tried to walk past a few of them and even take one out. There's even one right there. I tried to take one out and he destroyed me. That health bar that I have up there was pretty much 2/3 of the way gone after I left this area. Do not mess with these guys. As you saw right there, he tried to whip me with his tail, but he failed. If you shoot that, bees will come after you. It will give you some more food, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Your stamina won't deplete unless you're like going absolutely mad ham on these alligators, which you shouldn't, because I have had horrible experiences with them. You may not have, but like, you may know how to take them down, but I don't. I tried and I almost died. I think we... Finally... Oh, no. Okay, it's another loading area. I was trying to see if we actually got introduced to some enemies. As I was saying earlier, the AI in this game is superb. The AI in this game, they will... I had an experience in this area where there's like a little cutout of a stump that you can hide in. And there was a guy walking past me, and I was pressed up against the wall. and I moved the stick slightly so then Snake got off the wall, and the soldier went footsteps, and then I got caught.
Soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
And you may notice again they have radios, but in this one, with the more precision aiming that you get with this game,
Your presence in
you
Soviet
can
territory is already a
actually
violation
shoot
of
out the
international law.
radios so they can't talk to anybody. There's also a lot of other things you can do in order to make their AI just a little bit dumber,
Contact with the enemy.
but we'll get into those when we actually like
Don't engage
get to them,
in
which
battle
probably won't be
either.
until the Let's
This
Play.
is a stealth mission. Got that?
Yes, I get it's a stealth mission. You don't have to tell me.
The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage.
Yes, I just talked about this.
Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer.
Yes, I just talked
The
about
uniform
this.
option lets you pick your uniform, while the face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand
Did you
up
see
and run
Snake do
around
that little
and
circle in the video?
you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed.
And then snatch at their ankles.
You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
So yeah, that's camouflage explained by the game instead of me. And this is our first introduction to enemies. They are all the way out there. I can't see them, you can't see them, but that's all right. I know how to deal with them really well because I went through this part and accidentally speed run. I don't know what the active of speed run is, but I know how to deal with these guys. Also, if you're in a first-person view, normally you can only move like left to right, but if you hold R1, you can actually look in all directions. There he is. I actually couldn't see him. As I said in the last game, aiming for the head is key for tranquilizing, because if you aim for anything else, it will take more shots to knock them out. So if you aim for the head, they get knocked straight out. And again, you have to get rid of the evidence, so hide the bodies. And if you shake them down a bunch, you'll get more stuff. So actually, if I just keep picking them up and putting them down, I'll drop more stuff. I have to get... Yeah, I'm not going to waste time with that. But yeah, we get a stun grenade and MK-22 bullets. Then I put my gun back on. I think that's the only guy in this area. I haven't played this part in a while. Is that a... Oh, look at that. Did not mean to fire. I was holding the square button. Yeah, so if you see fruit in a tree, you can shoot it down and get it for food, which is nice. This is the area where I got messed up by the guy going, footsteps. Which, by the way, for being Russians, they speak very fluent English. There's the other guy. I don't know if you guys saw him. You can see him pretty clearly. Nighty night. You may also notice the CQC button, or the CQC emblem above my weapon. That's what the boss was talking about. We get CQC based weapons, so if you're unarmed or you have just a knife equipped, you can do CQC. And so basically that allows you to hold enemies hostage. If I could actually sneak up on an enemy, I could show you, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Because I think there's one guy over there and he starts walking this way eventually. Let's see. I think I see him right between those trees. Ooh, no one. Yeah, you guys might not have been able to see him, but I see him pretty clearly. And again, that might just be whole camera thing. That's the only 3 guys here. I think there is a 4th guy walking around over there. But, oh, wait. Oh, there is a 4th guy. Wait. I want to see if I can try and sneak up on him. By the way, if you move with the analog stick, depending on how hard you press it is how fast you go. But if you move with the D-pad, it actually makes Snake move slower. So if I just...
Who's that?
Ah, dang. Okay, well,
HQ.
I'm trying to get close to him so I can... There we go. Just put him down. Is he asleep? Is he asleep? He's asleep. I did get knifed. And they did make a call to HQ, but I don't think that matters because no one responded. The radio does not work as well as it did in Metal Gear Solid 2 because they don't go, hey, what's wrong? After you silence somebody as they're making a call. But on to the next area. Which I think might be where I ended as soon as this cutscene ends. Because, you know, we got decently far. We got through all the intro stuff. We got to see some of the gameplay. Which, again, that's kind of what I want to achieve with this game. Actually, you know what? Okay. Snake looks so happy. I'm gonna do this part because this part is really fast. And then I'm gonna end it off. Because actually the next place that I go to is a better stopping point than this. You may have seen that Snake was looking at that beehive right there, but there's also that little green thing on that post is a frog that you can shoot. There are little collectibles in this game, not even collectibles, they're just fun things to shoot because they go meow, 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 meow. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there it is. It's a little bit louder now. But there's this beehive that's right there. And if you shoot it, the guy runs away from the bees, and the other guys that are coming will also start to run away, giving you free reign to just walk across this bridge completely unspotted. Which, by the way, this bridge is a little rickety. And if you walk too close to the edge, you fall. Well, you don't fall, but you grab yourself. So we have a few minutes until those guys get back. So what we want to do is we want to come down here. I kid you not, the last time I tried, when I was playing this game for the first time, it took me an hour to get through this place. Because I was so dead set on being able to, like, sneak past everybody and not get spotted. So I was trying to, like tranquilize people, and I just couldn't do it. I was shooting pieces of grass instead of the people. It was kind of nuts, not gonna lie. Okay, but easy peasy little section. Just shoot the beehive, and there you go. You move on. It's as simple as that. Just shoot the beehive, crawl down into that little section to get a rifle. By the way, you get a rifle this early in the game. And there you have it. We're in the next section, which is a quote-unquote checkpoint after I save.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. Security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
All right. Oh, never mind.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be
Again, I could do this section really quickly
Northeast section.
because I know the fastest way to get to his area.
Your mission
But
is to
because
bring
that also
Sokolov.
leads into further into the story, and that also takes for absolutely ever, even though it introduces you guys to one of my favorite characters,
Oh, and one other thing,
I am going to leave it
no, it's
here
just that
after this
when you get
cutscene
to
because I just think
I want you
going
to tell
into
us
that cutscene and all that story stuff would take way too long. And
Yes.
I don't want to deal with it.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
So, wait for it. That is going to do it for this episode. If you guys did enjoy this episode, don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not. And don't forget to ring that bell to get notifications of when I upload next. And if you do indeed like these games, even though I know for a fact I'm going to be Let's Playing these games at some point in the future, do leave a comment, do leave a like, and do leave a comment down below on saying, yeah, this is a really cool game, I'd like to see it, or something of that effect, or just straight up leave a comment saying, hey, how's it going? You know? Anyway, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye-bye-bye-bye.